The following is a Closet 501 production.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Insider. I'm Caleb Galbraith. Since the last time you saw us, we've had a little bit of change of cast, but we are excited to bring on 3 new members of the team. First up, we have Caesar here to discuss the big game that wrapped up earlier this week. Caesar?
The Super Bowl, man. What did you think about the Super Bowl before I start?
I thought it was a really good game. Honestly, I was hanging out with my friends for the majority of the time, so I didn't see a whole lot of the key plays, but there were a lot of things to enjoy. It was definitely more exciting than games we've had in previous years.
Okay. Who do you prefer as a superstar? Would you prefer the Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, or would you prefer Patrick Mahomes as a superstar?
Well, I can't lie. They are both superstars. I agree. They're definitely both going places. But as a Lubbock native, I could not, in good conscience, root for anybody but my man, Patrick Mahomes. I will say, my favorite play, like right off the bat, I don't know who exactly it was. I'm not good with numbers. But Eagles throw the ball. It's caught. Chiefs guy, it was totally targeting. He blew that dude out of bounds.
I do know what you're
Flip.
talking about.
If you have a clip, we'll show it. If not, you would remember the play if you saw it. But.
Yes, and then they called it back too. So, again, throughout that whole game, I honestly thought the Eagles were cheating. But, you know, it's the Super Bowl. Let the boys play.
Yeah,
let the boys
just let 'em
play. We're going to talk about the MVP. I do not think Patrick Mahomes deserves the MVP.
No, I mean, especially getting hurt in the middle of the game. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's done better in previous years.
I think the rookie Isaiah Pacheco, the rookie running back, should have got that MVP with, I think, almost 200 yards rushing the whole game. Travis Kelce also. There's a lot of them that could have been MVP, but Patrick Mahomes did not deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also just sort of a stereotype. You give it to the quarterback because they're the leader of the team, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's how they're going to frame it. But, yeah, I agree. There's definitely more stars than just Mahomes on that Chiefs team.
Let's go ahead and talk about that playoff bracket. Brock Purdy. What about Brock Purdy around there? I mean, the Niners quarterback came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt to put him in the game, made it to the playoffs, almost a Super Bowl. Let's talk about number 13. Number 13, you know, I do not know what college he went to, but he is a dog. He's a good player.
Absolute dog. Dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
Brock Purdy. Anyway, let's talk about.
Wait, was Brock Purdy Mr. Irrelevant?
Yes, Mr. Relevant.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, because he wasn't even known.
No, he was bottom pick at the draft, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Brock Purdy, if you didn't know, picked last in the NFL draft, but still played really well this year. I was surprised. He came out of nowhere. So that's what we in the biz call a Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes, sir. And we are the insiders.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about, I was just about to get there, the Travis Kelce, not the Travis Kelce, the Kelce brothers. We got Trav and we got Jason Kelce.
Yes, sir.
It was a good matchup. Jason Kelce had a couple good blocks. You know, I think he had one holding call in the Super Bowl. I do not remember. And Travis Kelce is just him.
Yeah.
He's just him.
He's always going to perform. That was definitely interesting. I feel like the story of the Super Bowl this year was definitely pushed really hard. Definitely very entertaining the whole time. So, great game to watch. Thank you, Caesar, for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to our next segment.
Already.
Appreciate you. Oh, my goodness. Next up, we have Abby Garcia joining us to talk about movie rankings, specifically box office numbers, and where the movies now stand. As you know, Avatar came out recently and has absolutely been smashing it, but Abby Garcia is here to tell us more.
Yeah, of course. So, as you said, our Avatar movie has just, ballooned.
Balloon.
Balloon, yeah. Totally. Okay, anyways. The the new Avatar movie has totally taken over theaters. However, whenever you do look at the list for all of the movies, the original Avatar is still straight on top. But the but the new Avatar movie isn't very far behind, ranking on number 4 in the list.
I guess that makes sense. The original Avatar has been out for years now, and it is still a very impressive movie. Even if you can't follow the storyline very well, if you don't appreciate the storyline, you can appreciate it was a very impressively looking and cinematography-wise film for its time. So I think that's why it ranks so high. I will say, though, the new one is even better for all the reasons that the first one was good, the second one is even better. So.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't actually seen the movie, but I'm talking about the rankings here, so not the actual movie. But I have seen the original, so I do have some credit there. And it was a really good movie. It was it's an outlandish plot, but it's really good. And also coming back into theaters recently is going to be the new the old Titanic movie coming back to theaters.
Listen to me. I've got you. I won't let go.
The ship of dreams.
How do you feel about that?
Jack shouldn't have died. But
Valid.
that's just, we'll put that out there. That's all I'm gonna say. But even though there is that huge flaw with that movie, I think people still respect it. It's a good movie. Never seen it.
You've
But-
never seen the Titanic?
No, I watched the scene where Jack should have lived, but besides that, no.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was gonna talk a little bit about the actual movie, but if you haven't seen it,
No, go ahead.
there's
I'll
not much.
pretend I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say the fact that I've recently found out that the Titanic movie is actually like it's not a real story. It's based on events that happened during the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So much input.
I'm flying.
Ranking number 2 though, underneath the old Avatar movie, is the Avengers Endgame.
I mean, it makes sense. Honestly, I don't fully understand that one because I feel like Infinity War was way bigger of a deal, but it makes sense. People watched Infinity War. It was so good. And so they brought their friends with them to Endgame to, finish off the Marvel saga, as they say. So,
Yeah. However, they're only like 200 million behind one another. So, had the Avengers movie like made more money, they would definitely be on top of Avatar right now.
and I think over time, that this is like I'm saying, I bet when Avatar came out, I doubt that it was on the very top of the charts. I'm sure it was approaching, but now I think it's just the nostalgia built around that movie is why it still sits at number 1. But I will say, probably over time, people are going to go back. They're going to revisit the whole Avengers series, and I think Avengers Endgame will keep gaining profit over time.
Was it the Infinity War that you said should have been higher?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because whenever I went to first see that, it was hyped up like so much more than Endgame. Because Endgame, people were like, okay, duh, they're gonna finish the story. But like Infinity War was like, we had no idea what was gonna happen because we'd only had little teasers throughout the whole series. So
Well, it was actually ranked 6. So
yeah,
it was below Star Wars
That's too
and
bad.
the new Avatar movie.
I would say yes. Movies with like lots of like people are hyped to go and see it in theaters. That was a big deal with the Star Wars movie coming out. Like literally swarms of people just waiting to get in. On the premiere night of Star Wars 7, I can remember that. So
Yeah. And then like it just seems like the Marvel movies are continuing to top the charts because we have the Avengers movie, Avengers Endgame ranking at number 2. We have Avengers Infinity War ranking at 6, and then right below Infinity War is Spider-Man No Way Home ranking at 7. So I think as they continue to create more Marvel movies, I think they're going to continue to rank highest.
yeah, I will say though, Marvel is declining in quality. I don't
They're
know if
declining in
anyone
story
else.
plots.
Yeah. They're making
characters
stuff
said
up
that,
recently. Yeah.
So, anyways, that is our top charts. So, on to the next segment.
Thank you, Abby, for joining
Yeah,
us.
of course.
Joining us now is Naomi Spears. She's here to talk to us about the release of Toy Story 5. Is it a necessary addition to this very nostalgic and very high fan base franchise, or is it actually going to be worth our time? Let's hear it.
I actually think it's really unnecessary for the franchise. I think it's just gonna ruin it even more. Cause even Toy Story 3 was kind of doesn't really seem settled for children, honestly. And I think this just ruined it. Andy would not have left. Well, no, he would not have left Andy. The person Woody wouldn't have left Andy after all those years saying, "Oh, it's my job to give him joy and all that," but in reality, he just left him. So I'm like, eh.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, they could have ended it with Toy Story 3. They could have
Yeah,
ended it with Toy
definitely.
Story 4. They should have ended it with Toy Story 4. At this point, I don't know how, because all the speculation is Woody's coming back and stuff. Well, they made him leave for a reason, and they're basically going against their whole story if they make another one. So we'll see. It might turn out fine,
It
but
might turn out, but we all have grown up watching Toy Story, at least. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. Then all of a sudden he leaves Andy. I'm like, okay. Right there, and he finds a new child and stuff to play, give more joy to. But then he leaves that child
Yeah.
for a doll. Well, a porcelain doll, I think.
Yeah, Woody's got weird priorities. But
Yeah.
I will say that's the danger of making another one. There's so much nostalgia around it, especially for people who grew up watching it.
Yeah.
Now those people are adults. So if it sucks, they're going to tell you about it. So
Yeah.
you just got to be careful making it. Of course, we're all going to go watch it because it's Toy Story. But,
Yeah.
you know.
They should have really just stopped after 3. Because that's like a nice way to end.
Well, I mean, 4 was nice. 4 was a good way to bring things together because they totally did kill off lots of the characters in the original
Yeah.
one when they moved into 3. So the 4 makes a little bit of sense, but 5. Well, no, we'll have to see. We haven't seen it yet, but we'll see.
I'll have to see if they had like, would the dinosaur be in there? Because like that was my favorite character. In Toy
I would
Story.
hope so. I think it stuck around. I think the dinosaur stuck around at the end
Yeah.
of 4.
I can't remember the dinosaur's name about it though, so I'm like,
No, is it Trixie? Trixie? No. You're talking about the girl dinosaur or the dude dinosaur?
yeah. Oh, okay, they're all growing. Okay.
Okay. I think they kept most of the big ones.
Yeah, that's true. Mr. Potato Head, especially.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on The Insider.
Yep.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, we'll be back with more Insider content the next time we see you. Until then, stay happy and healthy. Bye.
Hello and welcome back to our completely new round of podcasts with new teammates and all new logos. We are KBMN News Now. My name is Micah Pappas.
And I'm Carson Ward.
And so basically our podcast, we're going to be giving you news updates on what's been going on in the week. We're trying not to keep it, super political. It's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of entertainment-based stuff. So
Yeah.
getting into it, we do have a somewhat serious topic, very serious topic. The earthquakes going on in Turkey. There recently a video surfaced of a woman being pulled out of the rubble after being trapped for hours. And it's just a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that she has a really speedy recovery. But, I mean, just being trapped in so much rubble, we don't even know how many pounds were on top of her. So we don't really know how long it's going to take her to recover.
Absolutely. It's not just the physical trauma. Being trapped would obviously have so much mental repercussions on you. So wishing her a speedy recovery and wishing everyone in Turkey, safety and good health. So moving on from that terrible natural disaster, we have Elon Musk defending. So the SpaceX satellites have been blocked in Ukraine, and he's defending that, saying he doesn't want to get involved and doesn't want any interference in the Ukrainian-Russian war, which does make sense. He is a private company, so it was an interesting move on his part to speak publicly about it.
Yeah, of course. I don't know a lot about the topic, but we know that Elon knows what he's doing. And so we don't necessarily have to understand what he's doing, but as long as he knows and he's comfortable with what he's doing, then we can trust him. you know?
Absolutely. And I think it's always a smarter move to just not get involved if possible
Right.
until you absolutely have to. So
Right.
Then moving on from the more serious topics, what happened? Actually, wait, we have one more NASA story. Sorry, keeping it with space, kind of satellite SpaceX. NASA found evidence of an ancient lake on Mars, so it proves that there could have been water even longer ago because there are ice caps on Mars, so there is some semblance of water, but they found an ancient lake so it kind of proves it.
Well, it's even a Martian lake.
Yeah,
I don't-
Martian lake.
So, I mean, there could have been previous life before us. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Do you
no one
believe in
knows.
aliens, Carson?
I don't.
I
I'll
don't
be
believe in
honest.
aliens either. I'm a skeptic, but it is interesting that they found this ancient reminiscence of, because we think of Earth being like very old and all this stuff that's happened to Earth and like the Grand Canyon, how it was shaped through stuff like that. It's interesting to find other natural formations like that on other planets.
Right. I agree.
And then moving away from space, coming back down to Earth, we have probably one of the biggest events so far to happen this year, the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is a big time for everybody, but for one young man, it was especially big. Can you tell us a little about that, Carson?
Yeah, of course. Being a Make-A-Wish kid myself, this kind of hits home. There was a Make-A-Wish kid that got sent to the Super Bowl for free, no charge, and just had the time of his life. He even got to go down, and I'm pretty sure he met some of the players. Got amazing seats from what I saw in the pictures, and I mean, just really a dream come true. And that's really what Make-A-Wish is about, and organizations like that, they want to make these kids' dreams come true, and I think they do such a good job doing that, because you could pick literally anything in the world that you want to do for your Make-A-Wish, and they will get it for you, no matter how long it takes. It could take 4 years, but you're still gonna get it because they're gonna make that promise.
Absolutely. And from the video, it looked like he was a Chiefs fan, so
Yeah.
he got a happy ending to his already beautiful story.
Right.
And I'm glad that I had you talk about it because I know it's very personal for you. So, keeping with the Super Bowl, obviously the Chiefs win,
38-35.
38-35.
And a
close
thriller.
game. Yeah, very close game. You want to tell me a little more about it?
Well, I was actually at work that day, but I was working at the restaurant, so I was able to watch it. Yeah, it was a good game. The Eagles with the top defense, in the league, and I mean, you're gonna have to stop Patrick Mahomes somehow, and they did for the most part. I mean, he didn't throw for a ton of yards. He did have those key red zone touchdowns, though. That's why he had like 3 touchdowns and like 180 some odd yards, but. That just goes to show you that you don't need a lot of yards to win a game as a quarterback. You need to trust your offense. You need to trust your defense. You need to trust all the people around you, from the owner to the water boy. You need to trust everyone. And I think that's what Mahomes does such a good job of, is because he's a team leader, but he's also a team truster.
Absolutely. That's a great way of putting it. And
Yeah.
even with that ankle injury, he was still able to make it work. And even though he didn't get as much playing time as some fans would have wanted to see, whenever he was on the field, he really made it count. As you mentioned, only like 180 something yards, but and every single yard he got counted towards that game, and it mattered so much.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you'll have a quarterback, especially in high school games, because high school their skills aren't as refined yet. But sometimes you'll see a quarterback with crazy yardage in the game, maybe 2 touchdowns, just because it doesn't. In high school they also run for a lot more, so I think that was kind of a reality check of how much it really takes to win a game, and how much the stats don't always show the work that a single player can put in.
Well, one of the things that people don't realize is how tough you need to be, because, like you said, he wasn't on the field for that long of the game, most of the game. But whenever those high ankle sprains are no joke, and the fact that he played through it 2 games in a row, even after taking 2 weeks off and it was still bugging him, that's big. That's a big deal, because those high ankle sprains, they're tough to deal with.
And especially for a player like Mahomes, who is known for his mobility, he's known for being able to, get around that, any defensive trying to, punish his positioning or anything like that. He's known for his mobility as well as his strong arm, but he made it work even with that limited mobility. So it was a great Super Bowl to watch if you're an Eagles or a Chiefs fan. Obviously, if you're an Eagles fan, you're going to be a little disappointed, but one game where I don't care who the winner is, I just want to watch it, is the Puppy Bowl. We had the Puppy Bowl coming up, and I personally only watched the highlights, but I was rooting for Team Rough. I don't know if you're a Team Fluff kind of guy, but
I didn't watch the highlights. I should have, and I forget to every year because it's so not talked about.
Absolutely, it deserves more of a spotlight. I think it's right after the Super Bowl. It's just kind of, it's not on everyone's mind. It's kind of like the dog show after the big Thanksgiving game.
Right.
Nobody really thinks to watch the dog show, but and obviously the Puppy Bowl is a little different. It's not professional setting, but dogs deserve some love. We don't deserve dogs, do we?
No, we definitely don't. But it's definitely entertaining seeing them run around and just not even know what's going on. They're just doing stuff.
Absolutely, that's the beauty of a dog. They don't know they're playing to win. They don't know what's going on at the Puppy Bowl. They're just excited. They're having a good time chasing that ball around.
Right.
It's just, who doesn't love puppies?
I'm sure they got plenty of treats after that too.
Absolutely. Do you have any dogs, Carson?
I have 2. I have a boxer and a cocker spaniel.
What are their names?
Cabela is a boxer, and then Stoger is the cocker spaniel.
That's cute. I don't have any dogs. I have 4 cats. It's kind of a lot. We're a crazy cat family, but I do love dogs. I walk my neighbors' dogs a lot, so maybe one day you can compete. Your dogs can compete in the Puppy Bowl.
No.
I would love to be a referee for the Puppy Bowl.
They're out of their prime.
I would love to be a referee for the Puppy Bowl. Imagine just being surrounded by 20 dogs just running around having the time of their life. So
honestly, I would just lay down and let them come attack me.
That's the plan too. And as we wrap it up, Valentine's Day is coming up, so
it's actually today.
Yeah, it is today. So while we're recording this, but even while this airs after Valentine's Day, we want to make sure that even if you don't have a romantic special someone, you can still wish your family a happy Valentine's Day. So go out, wish your mom, parents, grandma, brother, sister, whatever. Wish them a happy Valentine's Day. Show them some love, some candy, handwritten card, whatever. However you choose to show your love, make sure you show love to your family as well.
Yeah, because they do so much for you, even if it doesn't seem like it. Even in your rough days, they have done something for you every day of your life, and just a little thanks to them, definitely. And so just wish them a happy Valentine's Day. Wish them all well, and go about your business. You know, maybe send them a card, send them some candy. You never know.
Absolutely. So from KBNM News Now, that's our weekly show. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the first episode of the Supernaturals. You see me. I'm Jared Owens alongside
Parker Haggard.
and we are no longer a part of the cleanup crew, which is kind of sad. We do miss Julius and Isaac, but a new member of the team. We got Ethan standing over in the corner. Yeah, there you go. All right, and so the Supernaturals is going to be a podcast that us three do, and we talk about kind of the haunted things in Lubbock. So we're just going to go around the city and kind of tell the haunted stories.
Yeah, so just like growing up in Lubbock, you hear stories of just several things. There's even some stuff that like on our list that we've kind of gone over that I haven't heard of before, like ever. But some things like Hell's Gates, and then a big one, just part of like our school district, Lubbock High. You pass by and you're like, it looks a little creepy. But I guess we'll get into those, and then we'll have Ethan on later, and he'll get more into that since he is a student at Lubbock High, and he'll give you more of a rundown since he actually goes there.
All right, so the first one that we're going to get into is called the Close City School. It's right outside of Post, and it says it is unremarkable except for the school. So it's been abandoned since 1965, and that was like the inspired kind of the creepy abandoned kind of haunted place. I don't know if it's actually haunted. I've never heard of it before, but today's really more about going in the order of like kind of the rundown on every haunted place in Lubbock, or supposed. So we're going to dive more into them in later episodes, like more individually, but today's kind of just a rundown of them. So we're going to start with that one.
Okay. Yeah, like in the picture, it's definitely a little freaky. It's personal. I personally, I've never seen it just because it's a little outside of Lubbock. But like I said earlier, there's definitely some things on this list that aren't exactly in Lubbock, but just kind of like around the county.
Yeah, and so like being abandoned since 1965, and it was like a school, so that's kind of like just, it's kind of weird. But just looking at this picture, and we'll probably put one on screen, but it just looks like really creepy. Like the windows are kind of broken out, and it's just abandoned and old. Looks like something you see in a horror movie.
Yeah, it kind of looks like your typical like horror building, and just kind of what you would expect to see in like something like a movie.
All right, so the next one, the next two actually are probably two that y'all have heard of. It's the Lubbock Cemetery and Gate, which are connected together.
It's just kind of right behind the cemetery.
So the story of the Lubbock Cemetery is that there is a statue of an angel, and if you don't kiss its feet before you leave, there is a ghost that will try to stop you from leaving the cemetery, which is honestly like just kind of creepy, I guess. I don't really know. I've never been there. I don't know if I plan to go there. But
yeah, that's actually super interesting. I did not know that. I haven't been there personally, but it kind of looks like you're like a normal cemetery, but then you kind of have the angel, which I could see people thinking that's a little creepy, but the kissing the feet, that's kind of crazy.
yeah,
I've never heard of that.
Weird. The story on everything that we're getting is from KFMX.com, 94.5. So those are our sources for today. But everything about the Lubbock Cemetery angel, the story says one woman named Angela told the tale of everyone kissing the angel's feet except her. When they tried to leave, she saw a man dressed in black fly through the car's windshield before vaporizing. No one saw this except for her. And that's kind of the story of the Lubbock Cemetery, and I guess just kind of how it got haunted.
Yeah, I would like to know if like people like are still actually doing this, because that's actually super interesting, and just her having her own story of like what she saw and other people not being able to see it. It's like her being able to see the actual ghost, and it's kind of weird how like if it's true how ghosts work and how everything just kind of connects.
So the next one is just right on the back of the cemetery. It's called Hell's Gate. If you've never seen it, we'll put a picture on screen, but it is a really tall it's a tall like bridge looking kind of gate.
And there's like a train track on top.
And
It's I've seen people climb it, and it's probably not the sturdiest thing, but it's a bit freaky.
People say that like if you were to walk through it, it is the gate to. So that is kind of gut wrenching. I don't plan on going there.
Yeah, I've actually gone there once for like some family photos. It was kind of like off to the side because there's a bunch of greenery and trees and stuff. And like before you could see the bridge, you would think it was just like a normal park, but then you kind of reach into like the wooden. There's like, I couldn't tell you how tall, but super tall wooden posts just holding up this like old train track kind of thing. And it's super cool when you go there, but I could see just like.
So the next one is about Lubbock High. So Parker, I thank you for coming on the show, and I'm sure you'll be back on next time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
So now we're gonna introduce Ethan. So Ethan, if you would. All right, Ethan. Hello.
Hi.
So everybody, this is our other team member, Ethan. So the next one, I'm sure most people might have heard of. I think it's been turned into a haunted house, actually, like kind of like Nightmare. It's just like a local kind of haunted house, and it's Woodrow Manor. And so it says it's an abandoned building, and it used to be an attraction, but business seems to have stopped right around the time of the pandemic. So I remember going there to a haunted house before the pandemic, but I guess that makes sense because I haven't heard anything about it since.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been there. I've heard of this before. Woodrow Manor. Where's that at in Lubbock?
Says it's off Woodrow Road and I-27, so it's kind of out Cooper District, but it's kind of out there, and it's really like scary on the inside. Yeah, no, it's big on the inside. Like they have enough. I remember walking in there, and there's an upstairs. There's like a side hallway, and you get to pick your path. So you kind of like seal your fate once you pick, and that was just like the scariest thing for me, because you walk in there and there's already people screaming, and it's just it's dark and there's lights flashing. It was a creepy place to be in.
That sounds really creepy.
What's next? Never heard. Oh yes. The old LP&L building. So for those of y'all that don't know, the Lubbock Power and Lighting is LP&L, and just looking at it, it is like it's kind of graffitied. There's windows broken out of it. It's just like, it doesn't look very safe. Nobody's allowed in there anymore. It says there are signs all over the place that say no trespassing, so like don't even think about going in there, because although it is abandoned, it's like an old Lubbock Power and Lighting building, so there's obviously like electrical dangerous stuff, but people say it's haunted.
I think I've been around like somewhere near that area, because
Yeah.
it even said like towards the bottom, like it's popular to like take photos there.
Yeah.
I know like there's a bunch of different areas that have like abandoned buildings where people still
Yeah.
go and they're like, oh my god, let's go take pictures.
Right.
That's creepy to think about, just like how many people visit that on like a daily basis.
So I think that'll be about it for this one. But next time that we're on, I think we're gonna dive more into Lubbock High. I think we're gonna try to talk to some people, get some interviews about Lubbock High, and go really into depth on the Lubbock High thing, and just because we don't have much information right now, but I think we're gonna try to get some stories and some interviews, and so y'all can hear from some other people and not just us the whole time. So yeah, so that was the first episode of the Supernaturals. I'm sorry there wasn't much, but yeah, just stay tuned and we'll dive into some of the Lubbock High or the Lubbock hauntings, and so yeah.
I'm just hoping we come back with something like a good story.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
gonna be exciting.
All right.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.
Everyone has friends, but here at Lubbock ISD TV, some of us have a special connection.
Hi, Miss. Hi, Miss.
Jared and Parker have a bit of a sixth sense between each other.
My knee's really hurting. I need Jared.
Parker.
Parker, I'm coming. What?
That reminds me of the time we tried to separate them.
You guys just need some time apart.
Why'd they separate us?
I guess we learned our lesson.